That is everything that I spent on my trip vacationing in Hawaii for 7-8 days, and that was a total of What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lynn, and in today's video I thought I'd do the trend of what I spent in a week video, but traveling edition. I know this trend was very popular a few years ago where people did a what I spent in a day or what I spent in a week living as a, I don't know, 24, 25-year-old in a certain city that they live in, such as like San Francisco or LA or New York. But I thought I'd do a traveling version just to give a perspective of what it's like to travel to a certain country, city, or destination. And it also really depends on what kind of traveler you are, whether you're traveling for like work, vacation, leisure, if you're on a budget travel, solo female travel. Most of my videos are solo female travel based. And before I start the video, I just want to preface and make a disclaimer that I'm not bragging in this video about what I spent or how much I spent. I just want to help people that are planning their next trip to Hawaii and kind of give like perspective of what you're expected to spend at certain places, and hopefully it helps. But anyways, you guys get the point. Let's get into the video. I traveled to the island of Hawaii back in late September. I made a Island of Hawaii travel guide video. You guys want to check that out. I spent about 7-8 days traveling there. 8 days if you kind of count like the day to go home. But my initial spendings for that trip is that I spent $216.20 for the flight. Car rental was $944.82. And that was when car rentals were really expensive. I'm not sure you guys remember where Hawaii was finally opening back up in the States. And so that was when everything was super expensive. I think that's like my biggest purchase of the trip was the car rental. And I rented off of the site Turo. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that website. Basically, it's a car rental app, kind of like Airbnb, but people rent out their cars in a specific city or country or destination that you're going to. And it was my first time using it, and it was pretty easy. I highly recommend it, especially since sometimes if you go to car rental agencies such as like Hertz, Avis, or any of those like car rental places, sometimes they like give out hidden fees or whatever. But on Turo, everything is like listed out of what you have to pay for, and it also really depends on how much the local of the person that you're renting it from wants to charge or what fees they want to charge with it. So I highly recommend it. Go check it out. We'll leave a link down in the description box. But the next thing I paid for was accommodation. I stayed in 3 places. I rented out a like treehouse camping situation for $179.12 for 2 nights. And then I rented a private room kind of near the city of Hilo for 2 nights, and that was a total of $131.10. And then after spending 4 days around the Hilo area, I went back to the Kona side and I spent 3 nights there, and I stayed at a hostel for 3 nights, and it was a total of $137.94, making the total accommodations for $448.16. So basically that was my initial purchases for the whole trip, which is flights, car rental, and accommodation. And now let's get on to the day-by-day breakdown. Day 1. So on the first day, I flew in to Hawaii through the Kona International Airport, and I went to go pick up my car rental, or my local was really nice. She actually dropped off the car to me at the airport, and then I just drove her back to her house, which she lived like 5 minutes away from the airport. So I just did that. I picked up a car rental, and then the first thing that I spent after getting the car rental was get poke, because you gotta have poke when you're in Hawaii. And I ate at the poke shack, and I forgot what plate. I think I just got like a poke plate, which I got about 4 different types of poke with like 2 sides and some rice, and that was a total of $40.94 with tip. And honestly, that was pretty expensive for poke, and it wasn't that good in my opinion. And I was like really surprised because it had a lot of reviews on Yelp, but it was like just okay. I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. And then after I got poke, I just like explored around the Kona area for a little bit. I like took drone photos at Bohoho Beach Park, which is kind of near the Poke Shack. And then from there, I just drove to my Airbnb. And then when I got to the Airbnb, I just met with the Airbnb host, and I paid for this like local breakfast item that they offered. And I read the Airbnb reviews and they said to like get it, so I got it, but I was like kind of disappointed in it. It was like not that anything special, and it was like $10, and I just thought it was like pretty like expensive for $10. I don't know, I was just kind of disappointed with it. But anyways, I spent $10 on that, and that was it for day one. I spent a total of $50.94. Okay, so day two. So on day two of the island of Hawaii, I just went to the Hilo Farmers Market. It's this really cool farmers market on the big island that you should definitely check out. There's like a lot of vendors, there's like a lot of fruit stands, which is what I love to do when traveling, is to go to the fruit stands. So I checked that out and I bought $26 worth of fruit. It was so good, and I feel like that's pretty standard. I got a variety of fruit to try, and I feel like exotic fruits are always like kind of more on the expensive side when you're traveling, at least in the States. I know in like Southeast Asia they're like super cheap, but we're not in Asia, we're in Hawaii. And so I spent $26 on that. And then at the Hilo Farmers Market, I also got some lunch. I bought like avocado spring rolls from this vendor, and it was $7. And then after the farmers market, I just went waterfall hunting or waterfall chasing. So I tried to explore waterfalls around the area, and so that was free. I didn't really have to spend anything on that. And then after I explored around the area, I went to Target and I bought a comb and some contact solution because I apparently did not pack contact solution and I needed to buy some. And I also did not forget to bring a comb, so that's like miscellaneous spendings that I had to do. And that was a total of $10.03. And then afterwards, I went to this candy store in the Big Island that people recommended to go to. If you're a fan of like confectionaries, like candies, chocolates, cookies, that's something that you might be interested in doing when going to the island of Hawaii. When you go into the store, there's like this area where you can actually see people making the candies, cookies, and chocolates. So I think that's pretty cool. I didn't really buy much. I just bought some like passion fruit mochi that I wanted to try. It was pretty good, and that was $13.09. And then after that, I just went to 7-Eleven for a light snack. I don't think I had dinner that day. I was like pretty tired, and so I just wanted like something small to eat. So I got some spam musubi from 7-Eleven, and that was $2.39. And that's all I spent for day two of Hawaii, and that was a total of $58.51. Okay, so for day three, I had to check out of the glamping style cabin near Hilo, and I went to another Airbnb kind of near Hilo. It's in this city called Keanu. I went to go get brunch at this place called the Booch Bar. I heard people recommended it, and I spent $26.50. I got this vegan bowl, and I added a fried egg plus an matcha latte, and it was like pretty decent. I think it was like nothing special. I think maybe it's because I just ordered the wrong thing, but I wasn't like too crazy about the food there. But yeah, I spent $26.50 there, and that includes tip. And then I went to this mochi store in Hilo, which I highly recommend that you go here. The first time I visited the island of Hawaii back in 2017, I did not go to the store, and I highly regret it, and I highly recommend that you go here. It's called Two Ladies Kitchen Mochi. They make the softest mochi, and I bought a lot. I bought enough to feed like 4 people, but I was only one person, and I spent $37.17. And after I went to get mochi, I went to Akaka State Park to see the Akaka Falls, which is this really beautiful waterfall in Hilo, or like near the Hilo side of the island, and it was so pretty. It's like one of the prettiest waterfalls that I've been to or I've seen, and it's a $5 admission fee to go there, and You also have to pay for parking if you park in the lot. However, if you park before the gate, you don't have to pay. Or else if you pay for parking, it's like $10, but I want to save money, so I just parked outside the gate and then I just paid for the admission fee, which is $5. And then at the state park, there's a lot of mosquitoes there, and I got bit in so many different places. And also the last night that I stayed in the glamping site, I got a mosquito bite on my eye, and it was like not cute. So from all the mosquito bites from the state park and also from glamping, I had to get hydrocortisone at Target because I was just so itchy. I had so many bites on me. So I had to spend $3.65 at Target to get that. So that was kind of like a miscellaneous purchase that I had to buy randomly. And then after going to Target, I went to Paradise Cliffs which is this like really pretty cliff area. I highly recommend going there if you want like a really peaceful place to relax and just like be near like ocean waves on the island of Hawaii. I definitely recommend going to Paradise Cliffs. It's free, you don't have to pay anything to go there. You just kind of like drive there, park your car. You're gonna see people like fishing, just hanging out, taking a walk. I flew my drone there, and so that was a pretty cool place to go. And so that was free. And then for dinner, I didn't really buy anything to eat. I still had so much fruit left over from the previous day that I bought all the tropical fruit. Plus I had so much mochi, so I just basically had mochi and fruit for dinner, so I didn't really spend anything for dinner. So that was day 3, and I spent a total of $72.32. Okay, so for day 4 of traveling, I went on a hike in the morning. Before I went on the hike, I went to 7-Eleven to get some snacks, just so I have food while I'm hiking and I have food to eat so I'm not hungry throughout the day. And I bought a few Spam Wasubis, and that was $8.98. Went to go on the hike, which is the Waipio Valley hike. And after doing the hike, I went to Akaka State Falls again because the previous day that I went, it was raining and I didn't want to get a lot of my equipment wet, so I didn't bring my camera into the park, and I kind of regretted that. And so I went back again. I paid another $5 admission fee to go in and took some pictures. It was so pretty. And then afterwards, I went to get dinner, and I got dinner at Foodland, which is this grocery market or grocery store in Hawaii. I think they have it on like multiple islands. And I got some poke there, and it was $6.47. And I also went to L&L, which is like right next door, and that was $9.14. And so for day 4, I spent a total of $29.59, which is not bad. I think that was my cheapest day so far. And so for day 5, I left the Hilo area, and before I left, I went to the Poke Market, which is like this poke store in Hilo. I got a poke bowl, and it was $18 with tax and tip. And then on the way back, or on the way to Kona, I stopped by this bakery next to Honolulu Beach, Honolulu Back Sand Beach. It was this bakery called Honolulu Bakery, and they're known for their malasadas. And I wanted to try because I wasn't able to try last time I was in the area. And I got 2 donuts. I got a coconut halpia donut and I got a passion fruit donut, and it was a total of $5 with tip. After going to that bakery, I stopped by Costco in Kona and I had to fill up on gas, and that was $43.36. I think per gallon it's like a little bit under $4 a gallon, which is not that bad compared to right now, which in California it's like $6 per gallon for gas, which is crazy. Once I got into Kona, I checked in at my hostel that I stayed at. It's called My Hawaii Hostel. I highly recommend staying there. It was pretty clean. And then I did an activity for that day. I went on a helicopter tour, and it was the Kona Coast Sunset Tour, with this helicopter company. It was really cool. I highly recommend going on a helicopter tour if you're in Hawaii, if you're able to afford it, because it's like an incredible experience getting to see Hawaii from a different perspective. For the Kona Coast Sunset Tour, it's about $160 per person, and since I'm a solo female traveler, I had to pay for 2 tickets or 2 people because the minimum was 2 people, and so that was kind of a big spending on me. So I paid a total of $330 for the helicopter tour, and that was my biggest activity purchase, but this was a purchase for myself, and I feel like I don't spend a lot of money on myself usually, so this was like a pretty good purchase that made me really happy. And then after the helicopter tour, I just got dinner at Safeway because nothing was open. I think I got like a spring roll and some like water, and that was a total of $11.60, making the total for that day I spent $407.96. Okay, for day 6, the first thing I did was wake up early. I think I woke up around sunrise, and I just went to Magic Sands Beach, which is really close to my hostel. You could walk there. I think it's like a 10-minute walking distance, but I just drove. And I just flew my drone around there. I took some drone pictures, took some videos of my drone, and then I ate some breakfast at this place called 808 Grinds, and it was really good. I highly recommend it. I got this Eggs Benedict with Kahlua pork, and that was $18 with tip and tax. And then I went to Target for sunscreen because I lost my sunscreen. The sunscreen was $2.50. And then afterwards I got some shaved ice, and the shaved ice was $5.25. Plus I tipped them $1, and so it became a total of $6.25. And then I got some dinner at this place called Jackie Ray's. It's like this seafood restaurant in Kona. It was pretty good. And the total of the dinner was $60 with tip. And I got, I think, an appetizer or seafood entree with a drink. So it's like not bad. It was a nicer place for dinner. I wanted to spend a little more on dinner because the past few days I had just been getting like grab and go stuff. So for day 6 of Hawaii, I spent a total of $86.75. Okay, so for day 7 of Hawaii, first thing I did was went to Island Market, which is like this market kind of near the resort side of the island of Hawaii. I think it's like near Four Seasons. I just went there to grab some like Spam musubis and snacks because I was gonna go to this secluded beach, and you kind of have to hike to go there, but it's really, really pretty. I talked about it in my travel guide and my travel vlog, so be sure to check out that video or my travel vlog if you guys want to learn more about the beach. Basically, I just spent the day at the beach, got those snacks, which was $18.09, and then after the beach, I went to this place for shaved ice. I went to another place, it's called One Aloha, and I got shaved ice for $5. And then for dinner, I just got poke, and I went to this place called Pauhana Poke. It's kind of near Costco, and it was $14. I definitely like this poke place better than the Poke Shack because this place, portions are bigger, the cuts of the fish is bigger, and I feel like the fish tasted a little bit fresher, and the seasoning that they, like how they season their poke, it's not as salty, so I highly recommend that. And then for the rest of the day, I just bought gifts and snacks for my family, and that was like $42.71. And I got a souvenir for myself. I got this like Kona long sleeve shirt, and that was $31.40, making the total of spendings for that day $111.20. For day 8, my last day in Hawaii, this was the day that I had to check out. On this day, I woke up at sunrise, and I took some of my hostel roommates. Since I was the only one with the car, I took them to this beach called Hapuna State Beach. It's like this really pretty state beach. That's not in Kona, but it's kind of like on the way to the resort side of Kona. We had to pay for parking and like entrance there, but I think we cheated the system where we only paid to park the car. And so parking the car was $10. We had to put the ticket on the car to make sure you pay. And then I think we only paid for like one person entry. And so I think for total, for like entrance fee and parking, it was like $15 split amongst 3 people, so I spent $5. Afterwards, we got shaved ice. I split a shaved ice with my friend, and that was like $5. And then afterwards, I had to return the car. Before I returned the car, I had to wash it, and so that was $18 to get a car wash. And then after the car wash, I had to refill the gas on the car, and that was $30.06. And since I was near Costco, I went back to the poke store that I was at and got some poke, and I spent $8 for like a small poke bowl, and that's with after tax and tip, making the last day of spendings before I had to fly out $66.06. And so that is everything that I spent on my trip vacationing in Hawaii for 7-8 days, and that was a total of $2,492.51. And if you really want to break it down, here's everything that I spent in each category. So for car, gas, and transportation, that was a total of $1,018.24, making this category 40.86% of my spendings. And then for the flight, which was $216.20, making this section of my spendings 8.67%. And for accommodations, I spent $448.16, making this section of my spending 17.98%. And then for food, I spent a total of $356.62, making 14.31% of my spendings on food. And for activities, I spent a total of $345 even, making 13.84% of my spendings on activities. And then for the last section, which is miscellaneous / souvenirs, random things that I had to buy, which was $108.29, making souvenirs and miscellaneous spendings 4.34% of my spending. So that is everything that I bought. I hope this video give you guys perspective what it's like to travel to the island of Hawaii, especially if you're a solo female traveler or like solo traveler in general. I feel like some of these spendings could have been cheaper if the circumstances was different, such as the car rental. I think that was almost half of my spendings, which was crazy. I think if I were to travel with someone else, we could have split the car and that budget would have been cheaper. However, I usually travel by myself. I like being by myself. My hostel roommate was telling me like, you know, you could have just like slept in the car, which I could have, but I like having shelter and privacy and being able to shower. Hawaii is definitely not cheap, especially if you're trying to solo travel. I think you could have like had a very different experience if you were to go to Southeast Asia. However, Hawaii was the only place open at the time, and I feel like during this time everyone wanted to go to Hawaii. I just spent it because I wanted to treat myself, and I feel like I deserve it. You shouldn't feel bad about spending so much on something that you want to do, and if anyone is trying to make you feel guilty about it, then like fuck them, you know? Like, it's not their business, and I feel like you should spend whatever you want to spend. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful in case you guys are interested in going to Hawaii, see what it's like to spend money there. I hope this video helps you budget for your next trip. And if you have any suggestions of what, or if you want me to do more of these videos, I can. I was planning to do a version of this for my New York trip that I went to right after Hawaii, so I think that will be my next video, so watch out for that. I have some other trips planned in the next couple months, so if you want me to do a video on those trips about spendings and budgeting, just let me know and I will do it. But anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment, feedback, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!